Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at some fun things that I found at Dollar Tree. And most of these are actually school related, but you don't have to be sending someone to school or prepping for school to use these. So go ahead and just use this as inspiration of things that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. Okay, so I think I have about 18 little fun crafts to share with you and fun items that I found. So let's go ahead and get started. For this first one, I found this really cool binder. Now they did have a variety of binders. This was a 1-inch binder and they had a variety of patterns, but I thought this little peace sign was so cute. So I thought a fun way to go ahead and dress this up is I found a really cute little SVG. And as a reminder, especially if you are watching one of my videos for the very first time, down in the description box below this video, I share all of the designs and where I found them. That way everything is linked for you in case you want to recreate anything yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this really cute Hello Second Grade right onto the front of the binder, which I think would be so cute. And you know, in fact, before I do anything though, I'll get the transfer tape on, but I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol here just in case there's anything on the surface that may prevent my vinyl from laying down. Okay, so instead of taking the entire liner off the transfer tape, what I like to do with bigger designs is I like to expose about 1.5 to 2 inches, lay that down, and then I folded this back initially, but then you can kind of use it as a little pull tab, and then you can take the rest right off of that sheet and lay it down. It's just a really nice way to make it a little bit less intimidating. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to use a scraper tool and burnish down my design here. How cute is this? I was so excited with all of the things that I found at Dollar Tree. I actually went for something completely different, and then I was so impressed with all of the items that they had. Really, a lot of these could be used in a craft space as well. So I am kind of gearing this towards more, you know, education school type supplies, but I could definitely see a lot of these things being used in a craft room. So use these ideas and just run with them, because we're going to be looking at a lot of containers as well. And I know those would be wonderful for craft spaces. Okay, oops, I told you I was going to do rubbing alcohol and then I completely forgot. So let me grab, I'm just going to grab a little rubbing alcohol here. I'm just going to spray this down. And I just have a little paper towel here. I'm going to clean that off. And this just removes any dust or oils that could be on the surface. All right, so it doesn't have any pockets inside, just for reference. And is it the most sturdy of binders? I mean, it works. It definitely works. Okay, so here is our design. I'm just going to hover that and lay that down. Oops, right there. I have one little spot that kind of went down a little wonky, so... And of course, since I put that rubbing alcohol down, it is gonna cling perfectly to that area. What I'm gonna do, I think, is actually open this up. There we go. That way it is flat on my surface and I can really burnish down. There we go. Much better. How cute is that? I think that is so fun. Okay, I am going to be reusing this transfer tape. So I'm gonna bring this liner back in and make sure I replace it back on the liner, so I can reuse it over and over. Okay, so peeling off my transfer tape. Oh, it's really sticky. And there is my design right on the binder. Oh, that's so cute. And you can personalize this in any way. Again, if you wanted to kind of tailor this to your craft space, you might make a craft idea binder, or you could keep certain you know, product directions or things like that in there. but you can never go wrong with a binder in your craft space. So as I'm going through the video, in fact, I think it might be a fun idea for me to just kind of give ideas for how you could make these for your craft space as well. So I'll focus on doing that as well. But there is our first little craft. Okay, the next item that I found were these little button envelopes. They came in a pack of 2. Isn't this a really pretty design and color? It's just gorgeous. So let me open this up. There's a larger one and a smaller one. So initially, if you are going the kind of back to school route, I thought it would be fun to have these be kind of a little backpack organization, because I feel like there's always stuff to return to the teacher and then always stuff to keep. And I kind of like having something like this at home and then kind of having something like this to keep in a backpack, whether it's permission slips or lunch money or anything like that. It's kind of nice to have a dedicated space. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little keep on the front here. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep this as large as I can for a while. That way I don't trim it down too much, because I might need a larger piece later. Grabbing my scraper. Font information will also be linked down below. Now, if you wanted to tailor this to your craft room, these are amazing for storing scrap cardstock, scrap vinyl, things like that. So these are really, really nice little pouches to have in your craft space. I actually have some for my scrapbook paper, more of like the pieces that I trim down, so more of my scrapbook paper, if that makes sense, the scrap pieces. So that is a wonderful way you can use these in a craft space. And I like the multiple sizes as well. You could also use this for ephemera. That would be great as well, especially the smaller size. I love that idea. There we go. So there's our little keep. And then the little return. Okay. Okay. Loving this. So easy. Again, you could personalize it in any way, especially if you are doing the craft room route. You could label these for what they contain, like scrap cardstock or scrap vinyl, things like that. All right, so there is the next idea. These really nice button pouches. I think these are super, super nice to organize with, and a great idea for back to school. Okay, I found these little magnetic clips, and I was instantly drawn to these because I really like the idea. They come in a 2-pack, and I think there were some other colors as well, but I love the idea of either using these in a locker, but since my kiddos are not of the age where they would be having a locker just yet, I love these for the front of the refrigerator. And I love that they have a little clamp here, clasp, because you can hang artwork or back to school papers and things like that on them. So I think that is a really, really fun idea. I love all of the little fun art and papers and just all of the schoolwork that they bring home. It's so fun. And I love having something like this on the fridge because you can change it out really quickly. It's super easy. Okay, so I have just a little bit of transfer tape here. I'm going to use a tiny little bit. Whoops, careful there. Now what I did, I'm not going to worry about rubbing alcohol on here. I guess I could. Why not, just to be safe? I'll just put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there just to clean off the surface. And we'll make sure that's ready to go. Okay, wasn't too worried since I just opened it from the package, but there are times though when you open things from the package that it's still worth a little tidying up. So what that's doing is just making sure there's no oils from either handling the product with your fingers, or there's no dust from, you know, sitting on the shelf. Even sometimes when they're in their packaging, you can kind of open things up and see it needs a little clean wipe down. Okay, I don't have much backer here to pull away from, so I'm going to be really careful. Just cut this out of a black vinyl. I thought that would be super nice on this white clip. Oops, I lost my little dot to my exclamation point, but I'm going to put that on separately. So I'm just going to go to good job. I think there looks good. I'm just gonna burnish that down with my finger. Light scrape, and there it is. Now I'll just grab a little dot. See if I can grab that off. Sometimes they are such a stinker. There we go. And just place that right on there. Okay. There we go. Oh, I love these. Very neat. Okay, I think I told you they were magnetic, but if not, I think, well, obviously, because they're going to go on your fridge, but okay, if you had a magnetic type of board or something in your craft space, these would absolutely lend well to organizing a little craft board, anything like that. I like putting like marker swatches and things like that on clips on my own personal craft board, and I will link my craft room tour in case you want to see that. Oh my goodness, that's just stuck to my mat. And then you can see how I use clips like this in my craft room. But I like it to do, you know, marker swatches and things like that, or anything that any papers that you kind of want to keep handy. Or anything that you kind of want to take down and put up quite often, right? You're not digging in a drawer for it. It's kind of just nice and handy. Okay, being careful, and let's see if I can get the little dot to that exclamation point. And there we go. Okay, so there is the yay you, and there. Okay, I think these are super, super, super fun. All right, so there are the little magnetic little clamps. What do they call them? Magnetic clip is what they call them. A magnetic clip. Also, if you had a student that does have a locker, these are really great to personalize for their locker. You could put little flowers on them or personalize it to your kiddo's personality, but I love this idea and I'm excited to see what paperwork they're going to bring home so I can display it on our fridge. All right, let's move on to the next idea. Okay, the next idea is this really fun magnetic locker box pocket. I thought this was really cute. I tried to keep the labels handy so that I could reference the exact name that they call them. I'm gonna wipe this down really quickly because this did not come wrapped in anything, so here's where getting dust from the surface may come into play. So I'm gonna wipe this down. I do believe this came in multiple colors, but I'm not certain of that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. So what I was thinking is that I could just decorate this with some cute little flowers, make it all fun and girly, kind of like making it a little retro looking. Now, of course, this would be fun for a locker. It would also be nice for the front of your refrigerator. Also, if you did have a magnetic surface in your craft room, say you had like a magnetic bulletin board or something like that, you could attach this there and then keep craft supplies, whether it's your Cricut tools or if you had some pens that you wanted to keep in there. Anything that would fit in there would be a great idea. Now, you absolutely can use transfer tape to do this, but I think that these are easy enough to apply pretty much as stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip the transfer tape and just opt to kind of apply as I would a sticker. You can also use tweezers as well, and that is perfectly fine. So here's an idea of, you know, not doing wording or anything, but doing some simple decor to dress up a little piece with vinyl. Let's see, I'm gonna bring this, I'm gonna bring this up quite a bit. There we go. I'm gonna go into that little curve there. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. I love that. Okay. Grab. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but I can do this. There we go. Oh, now I want to maybe put some type of magnetic surface in my craft room. This would be so fun to put little craft supplies in. There's the dangers of not using transfer tape. And kind of get it all wonky. I think I actually cut more than I needed though, so I'm gonna let that one go. Okay, there we go. Do one there. So fun. Well, honest to goodness, I think that this is probably the cutest thing I've ever seen. Now you could add more and wrap around the sides. I'm not gonna do that, but if I had more, I would, you know, kind of wrap it and carry it on. But I'm gonna do, right down here, just kind of take the little curve of the side there. There we go. Make sure there's no bubbles. Oh my goodness, that is darling. What a cute little idea. That might be one of my favorites so far, but we still have so many crafts to cover. So anyway, a little tiny container to hold pens in a locker, in a craft room, on your fridge. Run with this in any direction. All right, let's move on to the next little idea. Let's get that little bubble out. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my little cup cradle for this next one. I found a little spray bottle at Dollar Tree. I know you're thinking, what does a spray bottle have to do with back to school? Well, I have a little carry bin for my kiddos for their hair supplies, and I absolutely love having a little spray bottle as well, because no matter where we are, whether we're rushing out the door, we're in the kitchen, we're in the dining room, wherever we are, I can wet down their hair real quick, put a cute little bow in, and we're good to go. So I thought it would be nice to have a little refreshed spray bottle. That way we are ready for those morning hairdos from Mama Hairstylist. I try my best. Okay, so what I did was I found this spray bottle. I'm gonna put a little rubbing alcohol on there, and let's clean that down. Okay, let's talk about how you could use this in your craft room. You could absolutely use this to put any type of, cleaning supply in, basic water for wiping down things. I love having some type of spray in my craft room just to help with cleaning. So you could absolutely add this to your craft space as well. I love it. Okay, font information will be down below. I am going to, let's see, I think this is, there we go. That was kind of playing with the balance there, but I just typed out water. I place it right on the side there, burnish it down as well. Okay, and then there we have a little personalization for this little water bottle. Again, whatever you're putting in there, you can personalize for yourself, but I thought that this was a really fun idea. Very, very appropriate for those hurried and rushed mornings that we tend to have during back to school time. But there you go, there's another fun idea, and again, found at Dollar Tree. Okay, I also found these really nice bins. They are called book bins at Dollar Tree, and you know what, when I saw these, I loved, first of all, that they came in 3 different colors, because I have 3 kiddos, and ironically, favorite colors, so it was a definite mama win. And you'll see these colors kind of carry out in some future crafts that we're going to do tonight, because Dollar Tree kind of kept the same color combination for most of their containers for this whole kind of back to school theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe down the surface here. I still have some rubbing alcohol on here, I think, so they should be just fine. And I am going to use these for library books. We have been bringing home so many library books, and I thought it would be a great idea to have just an area to contain all of the books. Oh my goodness. We are constantly having books, and more importantly, I like to have an area for the public library books versus the school books, because that can get complicated in a hurry. Okay, this is kind of falling out of focus here, but what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add their little initial to each one. I thought that this would be super, super cute. So we have a K, and what I did is I found a star in Cricut Design Space. I don't pay for Cricut Access, so I made sure to filter for free images. And then what I did was I used a font, which I'll link down below. I added the initial, and then I sliced it out of the shape. Now, if you need a tutorial on how to use that slice feature, I'll link one for you. It is such a handy feature to have, especially when you're personalizing things, and really for a lot of reasons, but I use them most when I'm personalizing. So here's the next one. There we go. Okay, for a craft room, this is wonderful paper storage. Wonderful, wonderful paper storage. So I would highly recommend, if you don't already have some type of kind of magazine bin, file bin for your paper, grab some. I also have a video that I'll link down below on organizing my craft space, and it shows how I organize my 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So if you want some tips on how to organize and how I visually did that, then I'll link that video for you so that you can get some inspiration. But these bins would be a perfect storage solution that would help you run in the direction that I did if you want to go with that idea. Okay, so there are, whoops, I gotta burnish that one down a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Here's our little book bins. If you don't want to use them for book bins, you could use them for just school papers, things like that. My goodness, they bring home so much paperwork, don't they? So it's kind of nice to have a storage place for all of that. But they also, I didn't mention, they do interlock with one another. So they slide in just like, let's see if I can, oh, they're really nice and snug, which is a benefit because sometimes things like this can be super flimsy, but these are nice and snug. If I can pop that in there. Okay, and then one here as well. Okay, so they're supposed to kind of interlock in there. Seems like it's a pretty tight fit, but that's how that would work. But I love this idea. Again, craft space or organizing home things. What a wonderful find. Okay, as mentioned, they did carry out this kind of color combination throughout their storage solutions that they brought out for kind of back to school time. You would absolutely, and I kind of want to get some more of these, use this for your craft space as well. Oh my goodness. I love that there's only one opening or one kind of latch here, and that the lid remains with the actual container. That's so nice. But you could organize so many fun things for your craft space in these, so you could absolutely run in that direction as well. These are just called storage containers, and they are a wonderful little solution. So I did go ahead and grab 3 of these. Again, 3 kiddos, and I loved that a lot of the storage solutions that I found could go in that, you know, trio colors so that they'd be used to their own color and just kind of carries throughout all of our organization. So I'm focusing more on back to school, but also how we can organize ourselves at home as well, because that's so equally important, I feel. Okay, what I did is I did their little monograms, and I am simply going to grab that transfer tape that I used originally. Let's move this over here, and let's go ahead and get these all personalized. I love how big these are. I thought these would be nice for school supplies and things like that. I don't know that you would want something this big for taking into the classroom, but Dollar Tree does have more traditional school supply pencil boxes, if you will, so you could definitely do that. But I liked these for home use. I think these are really, really great because of the size. You can put paints in there, and I like the idea that you can actually put like full boxes of colored pencils and things like that, because sometimes it's nice to keep those contained within their storage containers, just as a way of keeping things organized. Okay, so again, rub that down with some rubbing alcohol. I'm gonna center that. That looks, actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I feel like keeping this as big as it is hindering me when it comes to centering items. So once I trim that down, I can very easily find center, and I think that looks good. Okay, there we go. Burnish that down with my fingers, and again with the scraper. Really fun ideas here with kind of moving towards your craft space as well. I think this is definitely a great storage solution. Trying to think of things that I would put in here. This would be kind of neat for embossing powder, actually. Let's see what that would look like. That would be really awesome. I told you in a previous video, I like to place my embossing powder with the clear side up, because if you don't, then you just have all of these containers like this. You don't know what they are. So I flip them this way. But just for the sake of tailoring this towards your craft room, oh, those fit perfectly. That would be a great solution. I love that. Right now I have them on a little tiered tray here, which I love. They're just right off of my craft mat because they are something that I grab for really quickly. So for me, this probably wouldn't be, it wouldn't work for me and how I kind of do my workflow, but that is a great solution for embossing powder. Okay, I'm gonna finish up these next two, get these all personalized, and I can't wait to share all of the other things I found. It was quite a full cart that day, I'm not gonna lie. You know, even if you didn't go the school route and you're just going home organization for your kiddos, this would be awesome for Barbie supplies, for any of those little tiny pieces. Maybe my little one really loves those tiny Lego sets where she builds little cafes and schools and things like that. I think they're called Lego Friends. Oh my gosh, obsessed with them. They're so fun. And that would be a great storage solution. In fact, now I'm really inspired. I might have to go and fill a couple more carts up just to organize my house. I love that, you know, I kind of had an idea of doing kind of a back to school thing for this video, but I'm loving the direction we're going here with giving some additional inspiration on how you could use these inside and outside of the classroom and, you know, in your craft room as well. I love that we're kind of spinning it in that direction. I think that's going to be super helpful. All right, here was an idea for these really nice containers, a very decent size, and I love them. Okay, I am running in the direction of containers for the next couple crafts because I just feel like kind of going back to back with them will give you an idea of the variety that they're offering. These, again, they just call them storage containers. I want to note though that they also indicate that they are an easy peel label, and I am finding that to be absolutely true, which is so nice because I have said in a video before, sometimes Dollar Tree kind of fails us with their labeling because sometimes it is such a mess getting some of those things off. Okay, adding rubbing alcohol. These did not come pre-packaged or anything, so I want to make sure there's no dust or oil on the surface. And I'm going to actually use these for flashcards for each of my kiddos because they are each in a little stage in life where, well, do you ever kind of get out of the flashcard phase? I'm starting to think not, but they're each in a little phase with whether it's shapes, whether it is math, or whether it is sight words. We have all the flashcards, so I thought it would be nice. Again, they each know their color, and I thought that it would be super nice to have a little storage area for all their little flashcards. Okay, now let's talk about craft room. I'm trying to think of what you could use these for in your craft room. You know, I'm never one to not love a tiny little organization bin like this. They're just so nice. I think, you know, if you had little packages of sequins, you could put those in here. That would be a great way to get those all organized. I'm trying to think of other things that you could put in here. Definitely more smaller items. Adhesives would be good. And, whoops, oh my goodness. There we go. Getting excited. There we go. Okay, there is one. I am a lover of a flashcard, and I love that my kiddos tend to learn in that way as well. It's not for everybody, but I definitely, oh my goodness, even as an adult, especially when I need a quick little memorization of something, flashcards are the way to go for me. It's been kind of fun reliving that. Okay, there we go. So a really fun little idea, easy peasy to personalize as well. And there we go. Okay, so here are some additional storage bins that were in the school supply section, but that you could use for in a variety of areas in your own home, in your craft room. I really, really like the size. Okay, finishing up the storage solutions, here is another idea for a storage container in a different size. I am obsessed with this size. I actually found something just like this at Michael's during the pandemic when I was homeschooling the kiddos, and these were amazing for keeping school supplies. So if you did want an option for school supplies, this is a pretty good size. I mean, you would be limited once you get into, you know, those big thick markers and things, but if you were just kind of putting a colored pencil set in there and, you know, an eraser and a couple pencils, this is perfect for that. So I really like this size, and it was nice to see them offer something kind of more slim. I think that's really, really nice. Okay, we'll give them these a little clean. And now I did that same kind of idea with the initials and slicing out of more of a shape for this part as well. I really liked the idea of how that looked. So I'll start with this one. I gotta remember whose color is whose. There we go. And right. So I wanted to do just a little right justified personalization on the right. Super fun. Okay, for your craft room, this would be a really great way to store your Cricut tools. Would also, you know, be great for all of those little supplies like colored pencil sets and things like that. A really, really nice size that's nice and slim. I like things that are a little bit smaller too, because sometimes we do have just smaller quantities of, you know, longer things in those craft supply areas that need a little organization. So I really like this. Okay. Okay. And I found all of these in the free section of Cricut Design Space in their images. And again, I just went ahead and typed out the initial that I wanted and sliced it out of the image. Super easy, and it just adds something a little different when you want to do a personalization or a monogram, which is kind of nice. Oh my goodness, I put the wrong one on the wrong one. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Don't stress. We will just switch the lids. Okay. There's this. And, oh, do not panic. We are going to switch these lids around. Now, don't forget, they had all of, you know, these in a section, and then they had the lids, you know, on the same, I mean, it was right next to each other, but you'll want to make sure that you do get the corresponding lid. There we go. Whoopsie, totally avoided. And there we are. Okay, so another fun idea, really great size. I love these, and I hope you're inspired with these as well. Okay, this is something that I was really, really excited to find. This is called an activity paint tray. I love this, and I really, really like this for at-home use because I feel like we are always doing painting activities that can get messy in a hurry. So I love that we have a way to contain it. But I think I'll go back and get one for my craft space as well. Which way? This way is open. This way. Because I love the idea of using this for card making. It's a nice way to contain the mess. And if you had, you know, something that you were working on, you needed to just take a break from it, kind of close it up, come back to it a little bit later. And I love this idea of just containing it. That's so fun. I actually haven't seen anything like this, and maybe I'm just behind on the rage of it all, but I think this is super, super neat. So we'll definitely be going back and getting one for my craft room as well. Okay, unless the kiddos want to share with me, which they might. Okay, I have some transfer tape. Again, I'm just going to fold about an inch or a little bit larger and expose just that much. Again, that kind of creates a pull tab if you fold it behind, which you can pull, and then it releases the rest of the transfer tape. It's just easier than having an entire piece of sticky exposed transfer tape and then you're trying to place it without any bubbles, because once you allow that sticky side to be exposed, it starts clinging really fast to your vinyl, and it can work sometimes. It can work flawlessly sometimes, but in the times that it causes a little pickle, it's just a stinker. So I just like to do a little different technique, and it seems to work much better for those larger projects. Okay, a lot of these my Cricut was really cutting through, but it worked great. Okay, so I just found a paintbrush in Design Space that was free, and then I used a font that I'll link down below. I wanted to just do let's see, make sure this was the right size. Yes, okay. or side, excuse me. Wanted it to just go in the bottom right. And there we go. Super easy. Okay. So make sure you check this out. Great way to contain the mess for the little artists that you have at home, but also a great way for you to also have a nice little paint space for the things that are on your craft table. So great idea for something that you could put in your own craft space as well. Oh goodness. There we go. Okay. So there we go. That cute little paint tray turned out really great, and you can personalize it in any way. Okay, I'll bring my cup cradle back in for this next craft because I found a cute little cup here. This is a pencil holder. How sweet is this? I think they had a couple designs, and I just loved the little design on it. I thought it was so fun. So I love this for a homework space at home. I think that's really, really great. Even if you wanted to personalize it for a teacher, that would be great as well. Or if you wanted to make these for your craft room, it goes hand in hand, I feel. Okay, so I went ahead and did an offset. And if you need a tutorial on how to do an offset, I'm gonna link the one that I did. I'm really surprised with how popular it turned out. It was such a simple technique, but that video really, really went viral really quickly. So if you want a good video, apparently it was very helpful. So I think I offered, gosh, I offered a million ways. I feel like it was a million. Obviously not a million, but I offered so many ways that you can be inspired with offsets and how you can create them. And I hope you enjoy that video. It's very neat. But the reason I did that is because this design has such a busy background that if I just did the white vinyl, I feel like it would get lost on there. And an offset is a wonderful way to have your wording still really stand out. I initially was going to do this, which I still think is super cute, but this would be fun as well. You know what? I'm going to go with my original idea because I really liked the idea of doing it like that. Okay, I'm going to go right like this. Add a little pressure with my weeding tool. And there we go. See how it just kind of sticks out a little bit better with that offset? I really like that. Super fun. And you can have fun with some vinyl colors as well. Okay, there's another fun idea. Easy to add to your craft room as well. And I think this is a great little option for having in your little at-home homework space. Okay, folders. They had a lot of fun folders. I found this for my little boy. I think this is adorable. So fun. And then I found these cute unicorns that I knew my girls would love, so I got them the same one. But these are really fun. They actually do have the little prongs inside as well as some of the little pockets on both sides. And I like that they're that plastic material because those tend to hold up a little bit better throughout the year than the just traditional kind of papery ones. In fact, on our school supply list this year, they were actually pretty specific about wanting plastic ones. And I think it's just because they really just, they can stand the test of time. They're just a little more durable, especially when you're taking them in and out of your backpack twice a day, you know, taking it to school, bringing it home. So it just does help. Okay, my kiddo though, she specifically requested, I was going to do this side, but I think I'll do it this way. She specifically requested that she wanted a folder for her art. She has so much art and she wanted a space to put it. Now, for your craft space, this is a wonderful way for you to do some additional organization as well. I like to do machine embroidery, so I have, you know, binders and things in my craft space that have, you know, the directions or inspiration in there. So all of that is a great way that you can utilize a nice folder in your craft space as well. So I'm not going to personalize all of these, but I wanted to show you some an additional pattern that I found, but very easy, super easy to add a little vinyl personalization to. And I think these are a great option for back to school, but also organizing in your own craft space as well. Okay, the next item that I found is this little 2-section desk organizer. And what it is it can be either a photo display, as you see shown on the left here, or it can be a little dry erase message board, which you can see here. So it has this little I'm pretty sure it's just like a laminated sheet, but it works for a little dry erase, little message area. But what I thought would be cute is I'm gonna add some vellum. In fact, I'll just measure exactly the size that I have here. This is about 4¼ by 5½. Is that right? Yeah, that's pretty much just A2 size. So I'm gonna grab my mini trimmer. I'm gonna grab some acetate. I no longer need that little direction. And let's see if I can do, that's at 5½ already. So let's do 4¼ here. And I'm doing this because I wanted an area to add my vinyl to. I wanted to have a space. I think it's cute to use this as a little picture area. And I thought it would be fun to, you know, have a piece of vellum in front of that. So it not only is an area for you to put your personalization on, but also it's an area for you to protect that photo that's behind it, right? Because you don't want to put your vinyl right on your photo, which you can really. I mean, it doesn't, if you wanted it right on there, you wanted it right on there, but I like the idea of just having it on a little window in front. So acetate is a good option for that. Okay, there we go. Toss that. And I'm going to apply this on the acetate when it's already in there. That way I know I can get it straight. Just make sure that my acetate is nice and straight, which it is. And then I thought something like that would be super cute. Little besties. Okay, being gentle. And then you would just simply place your little photo right behind there, and it doubles as a little picture frame, but also a little area to house some desk supplies. Very, very obvious how you could put this in your craft space as well. In fact, this would be really, really great for Cricut tools. I think that's really awesome. I also like that this has a bigger opening because then you could also do some liquid glue in that bigger opening as well, seeing that it's wider. So I love this idea. You could even use this to house your little stamp blocks, stuff like that. So great option. And not only are you organizing your desk space, but you are staring at some cute faces, or you could have a little area for your family or friends to write a little love note to you. So super, super fun. Okay, let's move on to the next idea. Next, I found a really nice little notebook. I really liked this because it has a little peekaboo window here. Ooh, that's nice and bright and holographic, but I thought that that was so cute. You could add someone's name to it or anything like that. I went ahead and added a little be kind verbiage here, and I did my best. It's kind of hard. It might work better this way. I'll have to find where the curve takes it, but I went ahead and used the curve feature in Design Space, which I do have a guide on how to do that. So down in the description box below is where I mentioned you'll find all of the items that I used. So things like the transfer tape that I like and the vinyl that I like, but also at the very bottom, you're gonna see a section that says videos mentioned. And so anytime in this video that I say, you know, I have a video on that, or if you want to learn further, then I have a video for that. Know that that is where I'm gonna put those videos. So I'll do my best to also link them in the top right corner, but sometimes it's easier to have a list down below to access, so I'm gonna do that as well. So again, I used that curve feature and tried my best to kind of curve it in a way that's cute. And I actually think that that works. So I just did a little be kind. That actually would be even better with an offset, just like I did with that cup, because the words, I feel they do kind of get a little lost there. So if you did a pink offset or something that matched really nicely with the flowers and coordinated well there, that would be nice. Actually, it sticks out pretty well, but I would take that a step further and do the offset. I think that's really cute. Okay, another idea. Honestly, I grab notebooks all the time because I go through notebooks so fast in my craft room. I'm always taking notes, especially as a content creator as well. I'm also listing all of the things that I need to share with you in the description box. So I'm going through notebooks all the time. So I love these. These are great for your craft space, especially as you are gaining inspiration as well and you're taking notes on how to do certain crafts. Grab one of these. It's really great. But also it's a really wonderful little back to school item. Okay, we have, I think, 3 or 4 more. I think 4 more. This is a really neat little index card little, what do you call it? Like a little ring, which is nice because it's all self-contained. One thing I noticed though is that I think it goes this way, right? In my mind, the little ring is up here, but then the little peace signs would be upside down. So I think I'm going to do it this way and just have the little ring down at the bottom. I'm not sure, but then I don't know. They intended it to be, I think, the other way because of the way the price label is, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's going to be fine. It all contains them. But let me grab, I have a little area of just transfer tape over to the side of me so I can just grab the size that will work best. I'm going to try not to trim this down just because I think I have a little bit of a bigger vinyl piece coming up in a project that I want to maybe save this piece for, but we'll see. Okay, so I simply wrote out "you've got this" because honestly, what I am doing flashcards like this, and when I'm making flashcards like this for my kiddo, it is all about the encouragement. So I thought it would be just a cute little saying to put on front. Okay, these come in handy during spelling bee season. Oh my goodness. We go through index cards like nobody's business during spelling bee season. Okay, I'm gonna have to really let that burnish down for a second. In fact, let's do like we did that one time. I'm gonna lay this right on my surface. That way you can get a little bit more pressure. And I might just have to take my time here and really let that lay down. Taking my time, and that looks great. Okay, so you could do your kiddo's name, anything like that, right on here. I think this is a really fun idea. I like that. So cute. Okay, let's move on to our next item. Now, this item, I have no idea how you would put this in your craft room. So we are going to go with the little back to school and teachery theme. But I love grabbing these. I grabbed 5 of them while I was there because I like to, now you can paint these, but I like to add a little vinyl to the front. And then what I do is fill them with, you know, pencils or candy, just like a little variety of fun things, a little coffee gift card, and kind of make a little bouquet of encouraging items for the teacher. I think these are really great to do at the beginning of school. Now, again, you could paint this. I am really digging the bare wood. I think it's just really nice and fun and organic, but you could absolutely do anything that you wish in order to make this look exactly how you'd like. But these are super fun. They are nice little containers, really fun and durable. And again, a candy bar, you know, some fun teacher pens, a gift card, stuff like that really go a long way with encouraging the teachers, especially at the beginning of the year. I like to kind of follow up on the Friday of the first week of school just because, my goodness, kids are getting used to going back just as much as the teachers are, and it's just nice to encourage them as they're getting going. Okay, as well as this item, this is basically purely going to be for back to school, but I found this little foam dry erase block, and I have a kiddo who is practicing numbers, and I thought, what a better way than actually just making a fun little dice. And I love this because you could make this be, you know, an actual dice with all of the little dots, or you could make a game out of this. It could have words on it, things like that. So not an idea really on how you could use this in your craft space at all, unless you know, had it say something like, who's going to clean my craft room, and you put everybody's name but your own on there. I think that's hilarious. If you do that, don't tell your family that I gave you that idea. This would kind of be fun for chores too, though, if you wanted to do that and have chores on each side, and that way, oh, you know what, I'm gonna cut these apart. That way, the dice is telling what chores need to be done. Okay, so let me go ahead. I just did numbers just because of the need that we have, but this would be fun for sight words. This would be fun for a variety of things. Now, they did have a couple colors as well, which is really nice. You could just take your pick. totally love this idea. I also love the idea that you can personalize this to your kiddo. Whatever they are really needing to practice, this is a fun way to do it. And I think these are really helpful and a nice little thing to find at Dollar Tree. Okay, rounding out the end, this is the last little craft that I found at Dollar Tree. They actually had these nice chalkboard signs that are pre-made, which is really, really nice. I think they had a variety of styles as well. They were all in this shape and size, but they had kind of different layouts on there. So I thought that was really fun. Now, you could use a piece of chalk. I don't know about you. I love my handwriting when I am doing things in my planner and things that, you know, note-taking and stuff like that. But for some reason, I get really stressed out about this kind of stuff. And so I really love the idea of, you know, getting all of this personalized with a Cricut machine. So what I did here is I went through and let's see how I'm going to do this. I just typed up all of the answers, if you will, and cut them out with my Cricut. I thought this would be super fun. Now I just made up stuff here because in the last video last week you saw I made my own kind of back to school boards that I like to do every year for my kiddos. So I'm using those, but I wanted to inspire you with how you could use these. Now, I think the first one is, I think the first grade goes here, and I wanted it to kind of, I'm going to actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually place all of this down because I want it to curve. And it's kind of hard to figure out how to do that in Design Space when you don't have the image right in front of you, if that makes sense. So I'm going to grab this, and I think what I'll do, oh goodness, is I think I will lay these one by one down, just to show you how you would do it. Okay, so you could just do that. I mean, that's actually, you know what, let's just do it. That's adorable. What you could do also is just take all those little pieces and kind of curve them to go with it. But you know what, that's actually not bad. That actually takes the shape pretty well. So I'm just gonna do that. I love that. Okay, so there is that. Very cute. Okay, and then I have a variety of little answers. So I said, I guess you would probably be 6 years old in first grade, but this little hypothetical little one is going to be 5. Okay, and I'll just put all of the rest of the little pieces on. Now what I did is I just measured my little openings. That way I knew how much space I could allot for my text. So make sure you are grab your little tape measure and just go to town. Make sure you know exactly how much space you have so you're not cutting too big nor too little, but use a nice, you know, white, or I mean, you could do color too. That would be super fun. I like to use a matte white, which I'll link down below. It's a matte white because if you use a matte, it's more, well, it's matte, it's not shiny, so it kind of looks a little bit more like chalk, which I kind of like. Okay, without all of the mess. I thought it'd be cute to say my favorite activity is recess. So fun. Actually, growing up, that was my least favorite activity. I always asked the teacher if I could stay in and, I don't know, take down a bulletin board, do anything other than go to recess. I just didn't have time for the outdoors. And it was very, well, I haven't changed, let's just say that. I'm a very, very good indoor girl. So, there we go. And there we go. So look at that, perfect handwriting, no stress. And I think if you were really careful, you could take this off. I haven't tried taking them off of the Dollar Tree, but you'd want to probably opt for more of a removable vinyl. I've taken, you know, permanent vinyl off of things before, no problem, but I just don't know about this Dollar Tree stuff. So there you go. Now, if you did want to see Dollar Tree vinyl in action, I do have a video on that as well. So I'll place that down below so that you can see that, because naturally, as we're going through all of these Dollar Tree crafts, and it was a very predominantly vinyl geared evening of crafting, a piece of vinyl that is, then naturally many of you may wonder if that Dollar Tree vinyl does work, and I have put it to the test. Okay, there is our last little piece. And I think that is a really quick and easy way to personalize these signs. And look at that. Okay, we went through 18 items at the Dollar Tree that you could use for back to school or organizing your home, organizing your craft space. I hope this was helpful. It would be impossible to bring everything in or just a little overwhelming. So I just picked a few of my favorite things that we did this evening, and just a few because, oh my goodness, I was really happy with how everything turned out, especially those big book bins. And please run and get those because, again, for 8.5 by 11 cardstock, that is a game changer. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Please be sure to let me know what you found at Dollar Tree that has been helpful for you. And as always, I'll place additional videos for Dollar Tree inspired crafts down below in case you are currently on a Dollar Tree kick and you just want to keep watching. All right, everyone, I can't wait to continue crafting with you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.